Welcome to the channel, everyone. This video, I'm going to do a sectioning procedure on a rocker panel. And this is going to be part one of the sectioning procedure series. The first procedure I'm going to do is a butt weld with a backer. Now this is one of the easier ones to weld up. It takes a little bit longer to set up, but I'll get started with this one. It's the most common. This procedure was used in frame rails for a long time. iCar used to recommend it. I don't think they do anymore because most of the manufacturers don't allow sectioning. And you need to check with the manufacturer before you just take it upon yourself just to cut and section something. But on rocker panels, it's real common. I'm going to cut my backer out of this rocker, so when I section it, the whole length is going to get shortened up some, which really isn't a big deal on this demo. But a tip, if you are doing this on either a collision job or even rust repair job, you always want to measure the length on a new part, so when you section it, you make it the same length. You want the length of that to be just like the factories. Okay, one more thing before I get started here. If you could take a few seconds, hit that like button. If you haven't already done it, subscribe to my channel. It helps the channel out a lot. It helps for YouTube to push it. It helps the algorithm to put it out there a little bit more. So it does help the channel grow, spread to some more people. And you know, if you like content like this, it gives me incentive to come up with new ideas and take the time to do videos. So I really appreciate it. Like I said, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Doesn't cost you anything, it's free. Let's get started. Okay, I'm gonna put my section somewhere right in here. So I wanna clean off all this E-coat. I need 1.5 inches to cut out of here for my backer, and then about 1 inch on each side where everything's gonna be welded together. I'm gonna use my clean and strip wheel, get all this E-coat taken off. Okay, I like making my cuts nice and square. So what I'm going to do, use a little combination square here. I'm going to take my backer out of here. I'm just going to scribe a mark there, line that up there, transfer it here. Okay, now I'm going to use a piece of masking tape, and this is just under 1.5 inches. So I'm just going to hold it maybe about 1/8 of an inch away from that line. So when I cut it, I should end up with about 1.5 inch backer. And I'm just going to let this tape roll underneath here like this. And I'll take my cutoff wheel and I'll cut on both sides of that. That'll be my backer. Okay, here's my section for my backer, and what I'm going to do now, I've got to clean all the burrs and E-coat off the back side. I'll take this one, move it out of the way, and I'm going to punch holes in here, and that'll be to weld that backer in, and I'll do the same here. We'll screw it together, get it welded up. Okay, I've got everything cleaned up on the back side, all the burrs off. And what I like to do is take a file and go around here, because a lot of these corners, it's just hard to get anything in there. The backer is all cleaned up. And I put a little cut in here, and actually this one got cut through on that inner rocker. This will be welded up when I weld this in. And this, I should come in and weld that beforehand, but I'm not going to mess with it. It's really hard to get the camera in here, get some light on it, and have room to work. So usually you can get in there without cutting into here. The bottom come out good. I didn't nick that. So the next thing I'm going to do, I want to trim this backer down. This has to butt up right to here. So I'm going to put a mark on it there with a pen. Take my snips here and try and get it as straight as possible. I need to do the same on the bottom. Get rid of this. Okay, just like so. And that'll fit in there like that. That way when I put my other half of the rocker on here, I got a nice backer all the way down and around. Okay, next I want to put some holes in here that I'm going to plug weld this to. So I think I'm going to put one here, one there, and I'll put one down here, one there, one there. I'll do the same on here. Okay, I'll use my antique Whitney punch. This top piece, I'm just going to clamp that up there. I'm not going to punch any holes in here. Now you should put weld-through primer on your backer and inside of here. I'm not messing with that again, it's just a demo. So I'm going to slide this in. Put a few clamps on it and plug weld that in. Okay, plug welds are in. Now I'll put the rear section on. I'll get it clamped into place. I'll drill some holes in there, put some sheet metal screws to hold it all together, and then we can start welding. Okay, we want to make sure everything is nice and flush. This edge sticks out a little bit farther than this, so this is where I want to get the first screw in, but you can take and hammer on it, get it lined up first. Remember, you don't have access to the back side to put a clamp in there. Everything has to be done from out here. Actually, that hole ended up going into the inner rocker panel, which is fine. It'll hold everything together. Okay, everything looks nice and flush. I got a good gap in there, and I already had my welder set from my cheat sheet, butt weld with the backer. So I'm gonna come in here and put a few tacks in, and then I'll start stitching it up, and then we remove the screws later and weld those holes in. Okay, it never fails. My GoPro froze up and it lost the file, but I've got the seam all welded up. I pulled the screws out. I'll put my plug welds in here and then we'll see how it looks. Okay, let's take a look at it. See, it looks pretty good. It's welded all the way underneath. Okay, I'm going to take and clean it up with the grinder and we'll be done. All right, it's all cleaned up. It probably just needs a little more grinding, a couple little edges, but other than that, 80 grit with the DA and it's ready for Bondo. Come out nice and straight. Main thing is to keep your edges in line here. If you've got an offset, it's going to be harder to Bondo it up, but right now everything is nice and straight. It'll look like factory once it's all finished. So that's how you do it with the backer. Can anybody tell me what this rocker panel is for? Leave me a comment. See if you can guess the year and the make of this truck. But anyway, I hope you learned something from this. Like I said, it takes a little bit more time to make your backer and make everything fit, but it's a lot easier to weld up this way, and it's a real strong joint. The next sectioning procedure I'm going to do on this same rocker panel is going to be an overlap with an offset, so that'll be coming up sometime in the future. Thanks for watching.